Hello, everybody. I'm Adam Ebert, and welcome to Can I Teach It, a show that explores the teachability of pop culture across mediums. Today, we're talking about Marvel Studios WandaVision.
This book is filled with beautiful prose. This film's third act's a bit on the nose. This album features just one hit. But can I teach it?
With me, Mr. Ebert. Again, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Can I Teach It? I do want to introduce myself. My name is Adam Ebert. I am an educator from the South Side of Chicago. I'm in my 6th year of teaching, and I teach high school English and reading. Now, something I've prided myself on in my practice is incorporating a great love of mine into my classroom and my curriculum. That great love is pop culture. It started with graphic novels, but eventually grew into incorporating film, music, and much more with the guidance of some amazing mentors and colleagues. With all that, I now want to branch into sharing some of that practice with all of you. So for those of you who don't know or haven't watched yet, WandaVision centers around the Marvel Comics characters Wanda Maximoff, a young woman imbued with magical powers, and the Vision, a synthesoid made from vibranium who was born out of the conflict between Ultron and the Avengers. The series picks up in the aftermath of Wanda losing Vision at the hands of Thanos, the Mad Titan. As a response to the trauma of losing her beloved Vision, Wanda now finds herself in the picturesque sitcom world of Westview, seemingly united again with her presumed dead robot lover. As the series progresses, each subsequent episode finds Wanda, Vision, and the supporting cast in a new era of television storytelling, eventually leading to a climax that brings Wanda's constructed world crashing down all around her. So without covering too many spoilers for the series, I figured we'd jump into our next segment, which is, how would I teach it? So how would you teach it? As we start to talk about methodology, I do want to address the specific focus for this proposed set of lesson plans. What I've planned fits best for high school English because that's what I know best. Certainly, this could be adapted for older middle school grades or college courses. The linchpin of WandaVision's success as a narrative lies with the loving homages that the show is making to different areas of television history, specifically situation comedies, sitcoms. The show's creators lovingly homaged series like Bewitched and Malcolm in the Middle to provide stylistic backdrops to how Wanda explores her trauma. Most certainly, that would be my focus and how I bring WandaVision into my classroom. With the sitcom genre, there is so much to unpack. Sitcoms are largely something that I put on in the background in my household to pass the time, but what I've generally noticed and observed is that the general structure of a sitcom has remained the same since its inception. But what's changed, however, is the style of storytelling and filmmaking presented throughout. WandaVision most certainly reflects that. For our initial lesson plans, I would definitely start by providing my students with context on whatever show a given episode of WandaVision is an homage to. For instance, the pilot episode draws heavily from shows like I Love Lucy and The Dick Van Dyke Show. So in an effort to build background knowledge for my students, I might show them some clips from those shows and discuss how they function as cultural artifacts. What are the gender roles in this era? How is the design of the household set reflective of a certain era? What are some of the filmmaking choices being made? How does the time period dictate what the story can be about? From there, we would then watch how those choices are reflected in the pilot episode of WandaVision, touching upon how the creators might be using the tropes of the era to elevate the narrative about Wanda and Vision. Definitely, I would also discuss filmmaking techniques with my students, give them that background knowledge, that language to use, and have them chart how the visual style of the show evolves as it moves closer and closer to our modern era of television storytelling. Certainly, that is a cycle. All right, we look at each subsequent era, each episode that reflects that, and we move towards an assessment. And for the assessment of this unit, I probably start with a Socratic seminar in which students discuss the overall effectiveness of each episode's homage. Is it effective? Would there have been a better choice of show to homage? You could definitely let that be the summative assessment or have that be prep for a written or even recorded piece in which students evaluate the choices made by the creators throughout the show. Essentially, is WandaVision an effective exercise in homage? Another idea for assessment is having students apply their knowledge of sitcom history to either tell an original story in the form of a sitcom script or adapt a pre-existing story, retelling it in the sitcom format. With this, you can imagine potentially something like The Great Gatsby being told in the style of Full House, or Taming of the Shrew in the style of Three's Company. I think there's a great amount of opportunities and possibilities for your students to get creative there. All right, our last piece is well, should I teach it? And in short, yes. I think your level of involvement and the overall length of this unit plan can vary. Definitely watching clips from different eras of television as well as those accompanying episodes of WandaVision will take some time. And so I don't recommend watching full episodes of the show homaged or WandaVision itself. It's going to end up being a time suck and largely going to contain, I think, too much fluff in your lesson planning. Also, as the series progresses, less and less of WandaVision takes place in that television world. So keeping the WandaVision unit to a small handful of lessons is going to be key. And I think the length of your unit is dictated by how many episodes you would actually focus on. And there's some questions to consider. Are the first 2 episodes of WandaVision so distinct in their eras of television that they're homaging that you really need to dedicate separate lesson plans to each? I don't think so. However, all in all, I do think WandaVision is incredibly teachable in terms of seeing a storytelling medium progress over time and how a modern piece of filmmaking can utilize the styles of previous generations to tell a compelling metafictional narrative. Now, folks, take what you have been presented as you will. Feel free to modify and build out in a way that works for you in your classroom. If you're a little nervous about jumping into using pop culture, the best way is to start small. For instance, you can maybe pick one era of television to pair with one episode of WandaVision. See how your students react and go from there. I think with them, a little goes a long way, and I think those students will undoubtedly recognize your passion and also the real-world application of these lesson plans. So much of curriculum can be stuffy and rooted in the past, but as we show our students that our focus skills can be applicable to the past, present, and future, I think that's going to make a big difference for them. So get out there, have fun, and let me know how it goes. All right, so with that, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try and have at least a couple episodes a month. If you want to reach out to me, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Adam Abort. With that, until next time, happy teaching, and I'll see y'all soon.